Hi, I'm Dr. Robert Buonfiglio, and today we're going to talk about anxiety. Anxiety is a human condition that all people encounter. It is fundamental to our existence. It exemplifies daily trials and tribulations. Anxiety is not something we have, but something we are. Rollo May also said, anxiety is a symptom of life not fully lived. Anxiety, like depression, can be an internal alarm that sounds, letting us know something is not right. We can hear its ring and answer its call by examining our lives, which can lead to uncovering what we are truly suffering with. Thus, anxiety can be constructive. If used to identify problem areas, it can be a motivating force to rectify or make change and even keep us out of harm's way. Yet, as we all know, anxiety can also be troublesome. Now let's turn our attention to the difference between normal anxiety and neurotic anxiety. There are two types of anxiety: normal anxiety and neurotic anxiety. Normal anxiety is healthy as it is understandable feelings we have when we face new circumstances or fight our way through a rainstorm. It is a realistic signal that some danger may be near, but it passes when the danger has passed, whereas neurotic anxiety can be destructive. Neurotic anxiety blocks awareness and stunts growth and potential while leaving us feeling anxious and potentially depressed. When we are operating under this condition, we are not thinking clearly. Our perception of reality can be obstructed. The neurotic anxiety can make us act illogically and not as our true self. When we're anxious, sometimes neurotic, we can become sick and need healing. We may feel tension, restless, worried, fatigued, have difficulty concentrating, difficulty sleeping, irritable, panicky, overwhelmed, confused, insecure, frazzled, and rattled. This causes us to question ourselves and affects our ability to function. If this is occurring for you, it might be time to seek anxiety treatment. This troublesome anxiety can stem from stifled circumstance, self-doubt, lack of an effective action plan, fear, or uncertainty, among other reasons. Normal anxiety helps us to live, where neurotic anxiety can contribute to our stuckness and feelings of being overwhelmed. In order to grow and move beyond our anxiety, we must work to restore neurotic anxiety back to normal anxiety. In treating anxiety, it is important to understand and address anxiety while working to uncover where it stems from. An example of normal anxiety versus neurotic anxiety. Let's say the room we are sitting in now happens to fill up with smoke and is on fire. What would you do? Normal anxiety tells us to get up, find the safest way to exit the room, and evacuate the building. This is a literal alarm saying get up, get out, and save your life. Someone suffering with severe neurotic anxiety at the time the room went on fire could have quite a different experience. Severe neurotic anxiety can be debilitating. It could have you consumed with the anxiety and feeling overwhelmed, and you would become immobilized and unable to get out of the room. If you're experiencing such anxiety, therapy can help you change the way you are feeling and to live more harmoniously. Here is another example of how anxiety plays a role in our daily lives. A typical drive to work encompasses a number of circumstances where normal anxiety is present. The driver gets into the car and puts on the seatbelt. The keys are being put in the ignition. The journey begins. The driver turns on the radio and sings the sounds of Miley Cyrus. While passing the parked car on the left-hand side, the driver is struck by the leaves changing on the trees. Gazing up at the trees, the awesomeness of nature sets in. He or she quickly refocuses on the road and on their destination. Momentarily daydreaming caused a right turn to be missed. The driver redirects, stops at the red light, and then arrives at work within minutes. Pulling into the parking lot, a car abruptly pulls out in front of your car. The driver stops short and narrowly escapes without accident. It was Bill, an office mate, driving a bit recklessly. He apologizes for the occurrence. They have a chuckle about the near accident and walk into work together while discussing events of the weekend past. Normal anxiety has the driver put on the seatbelt, refocus on the road, redirect, stop at the red light, stop short before hitting the car, and handle the matter in an amicable fashion. This situation could have been quite different had the driver been operating under neurotic anxiety. The instant the individual realized the right turn was missed, neurotic anxiety could have struck. The driver could have panicked and been a nervous wreck. Missing the turn might have made the individual a few minutes late for work, which could have caused ruminating about repercussions for being late. If consumed by potential tardiness, the individual might have been aware of the car coming into the parking lot. This could have led to an accident. Even if he did, the response towards the coworker would have been vastly different. The individual likely could have been able to regulate his or her emotions. Let's talk about freedom from anxiety. Anxiety causes fear, which causes immobilization and the inability to see possibilities. Tactfully facing fear or concern is a good way to constructively address the situation. Sidestepping could lead to further repression. Often we do not realize how not addressing the matter often furthers the problem and locks us into a state that does not promote freedom of choice. Being anxious can become a way of life and one that can be quite unpleasant. To live freely, we must accept, bear, and live constructively with anxiety. Anxiety can become heightened, and we can learn how to cope and manage it. As discussed, some amount of anxiety can be helpful. We need anxiety to help us to study for a test or wait for a walk sign to cross the street. Seeking treatment for anxiety may be needed when we want to work toward freeing ourselves from neurotic anxiety. It is important to educate ourselves about what anxiety is and does. Comprehending our anxiety and its meaning is central in understanding our fears and their origin. Being self-aware and willing to explore our anxiety makes change and growth possible. Thank you for joining me today. Stay healthy and safe and in tune with Hive 80. Thank you.